Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind. I'm Natalie. And today we have Eric Mitchell as our guest. Eric Mitchell is a mortgage industry executive, marketing strategist, and the author of The Why of Money. Specializing in business development and lead generation, he creates innovative strategies that revolutionize partnerships between loan officers and realtors. As a certified master practitioner in Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which we're going to talk about, Eric has been recognized as America's most connected mortgage professional by the National Mortgage Professional magazine. Welcome, Eric. So nice to have you on.
Hey, Natalie. Glad to be here.
Yes, awesome. I was saying to you before, I love when we have mortgage professionals on. Makes my job so easy. So I wanted to start first with, because I've never heard of it actually. What is NLP? What's neuro-linguistic programming?
Oh, wow, it's a big question. But
Okay.
about very long time ago, 30 years ago, roughly, I went to a Tony Robbins retreat weekend that changed my life.
Okay.
And this was right when Tony Robbins was becoming Tony Robbins. He wasn't the
Okay.
full-blown version yet.
Okay.
And so,
For everybody out there, Tony Robbins is a realtor coach. He coaches.
well, he's a life coach. Yeah, he's
Like,
probably the world's most well-known life coach.
oh yeah, yeah.
And so certainly changed my life. 3 days that radically changed the trajectory of my life.
Wow.
And in looking at that, I said, do I want to learn? Do I want to keep going and learn what Tony Robbins is teaching? Or do I want to learn what he learned? Like, where'd he get this from? And so that brought me to neuro-linguistic programming. Richard Bandler started something called NLP. Tony Robbins did a two-week retreat with Richard Bandler, came out, wrote the book Unlimited Power based on Richard Bandler's teachings. He ended up having to pay Richard quite a bit in royalties because of it. And
Okay.
so that kicked off a journey of me just trying to study neuro-linguistic programming, which is really just a set of tools as to how the brain works. Think of it like Home Depot. If you walk into Home Depot, you might know how 10 of the tools work, right? But you're in a facility with all these different tools, right? NLP is like the Home Depot of the brain, right? And so you're learning one tool, then you're learning another tool, then you're learning another tool. Things like mirroring. I'm sure you've heard of mirroring.
Sure.
So that's an NLP strategy. And so just learning how the brain works allows me to create better, deeper relationships. I'm able to understand what people are saying without them saying it. I can read between the lines. I make jokes that it's true, but I try and make it funny where I know how much money you make based on the words you're choosing. And so if you make less than $1 million a year, these are words that people choose when they make less than $1 million a year. When people start making more than $1 million a year, they stop using those words. They use these words.
What?
It-
Really?
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And so think of neuro-linguistic program, neuro, brain, linguistic,
Sure.
language,
Language.
programming, software,
Right.
right? And so your software changes based on how much money you make. The more money you
Okay.
make, your software changes,
Yeah.
right? You have different problems. Your problems don't go away. You just have different problems.
Sure. Of
They're
course.
better problems. Don't get me wrong. Having rich problems are better than having poor problems, but they're still problems. You got to learn how to deal with them and figure them out.
Yes. Of course. Everything is relative.
Yeah. So
Um,
I can give you some examples if you want.
for sure.
So if a realtor asks you, hey, Natalie, do you do down payment assistance? They're broke. That realtor is broke. That realtor is broke. They have no money, right? Because now
Ay,
let's be
ay,
honest about
ay.
it. Let's you and I just really be honest.
I know.
Everybody does down payment assistance. And so if you're not doing down payment assistance, you're not a lender. You're not even in the game. And so for a realtor to ask that question means that they're not doing any deals. If they were doing deals, they would know everybody does down payment assistance. And so to ask
Sure.
that question, you've already announced to me you have nothing in your pipeline,
Got it.
right?
I
So
was
that's
thinking something else. I was thinking that because down payment assistance is so varied and tough and not really all that it's cracked up to be, that if somebody is coming to you saying, do you do it? It's because those are the only clients they're getting kind of thing where they don't have any money. And, I was going from a different standpoint. That's
well,
why
hold
I
on. It's
laughed.
broke people attract broke people,
Right.
right?
That's why I laughed.
And so it also plays in. Or I'll give you another one. If a realtor says, "Hey, Natalie, yeah, I'd love to get together. Let's meet at the Starbucks down the street on Thursday. Just pick a time, whatever. I'll meet you at Starbucks." You're broke. You are brokety broke. You want me to meet you at Starbucks because you are so broke, you need me to buy you a coffee, right? Because a busy realtor,
Yeah.
here's what a busy realtor says. Eric, my team meeting is on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. We meet from 10 to 11. I can meet you at my office at 11:01. If you're late, don't bother.
Right.
Now I'm dealing with a busy realtor. Now I'm dealing with someone who's a player,
Right.
right?
Of
That's a
course.
whole radically different realtor conversation. And so
Mhm.
just understanding the verbiage and the language and the sentence structure is very different from people who are broke and who are people who are not broke.
Sure. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so why is it exactly that is it a coaching thing when it says that you create innovative strategies that change partnerships between loan officers and realtors or
Yeah. So again, it comes back to language, structure, systems. I'm really big on systems. And so, if I say to a loan officer, what CRM do you use? And they go, well, right, okay, you're broke. If you aren't able to say a name of the CRM, if you can't just answer that question, it means you're not using one. If you're not using one, it's because you're not doing any deals, you don't see the need for one because you're broke. But if a loan officer says, "Oh, I'm using Go High Level," or "Oh, I'm using Bonzo," or "Oh, I'm using," right? Oh, okay, here we go. Now we're having a good conversation. Now let's engage. How are you using it? What does it do for you? Et cetera. And same with a realtor. If I say to a realtor, "What CRM are you using?" Well, okay, you're broke. As soon as if you can't answer the question about what CRM are you using, I already know you're broke. And you might be closing one deal a month or one deal every other month. I mean, I'm not saying you're poverty stricken, but you're definitely not running a business.
okay.
So,
So moving on to, actual guidelines and talking about some misconceptions that buyers have, of course, right now. Let's chat about the buy before sell program because I am doing quite a bit of it. The misconception that you have to get a bridge loan.
yeah, so the companies like Fly Homes and Orchard and they're good companies. There's no slight on those companies. They provide a very valuable service. What they're doing is worth whatever somebody's paying. But sometimes you get an objection where somebody says, "Look, I want to buy my next house, but I need to buy my next house before I sell this house, but I need the equity from this house to buy that house, and I don't want to pay the 3% that the bridge loan companies charge, right? 3% on an $800,000
At
house,
least. Hmm?
$24,000, right? Hey, that's not a little amount of money for a
Right.
convenience factor, right? And so there's actually four or five different options. So bridge loans are the most flexible, they're the easiest, but they're also the most expensive. So
Correct.
another option is you can, if you're selling this house and buying this house, but you can clear the borrower conditions on this house, not fund it, not close it, but just clear all your PTD or I'm sorry, I'm using acronyms, prior to doc conditions, right?
Prior to condition. Yep, exactly.
Then Fannie Mae, just Fannie Mae, normal Fannie Mae says on the new home, wipe out that mortgage debt. We won't count it.
Right.
And you can close on this house, and there's no bridge loan needed. You're closing in this house, then you're closing in this house. You can negotiate in your purchase contracts about a week in between the moving, right? So then you're
Well, no
packing and
bridge loan
moving.
is needed as
No
long
bridge
as
loan.
you don't need the actual money.
Well, you can do a home equity line of credit on the
Of
departing
course.
residence
Of course.
and use that as your down payment.
Right.
And you're still wiping out both mortgage payments, the first and the second.
Correct. And then, so there is that, which, you get an equity line. Normally, we like to set that up before you
Yep,
get into
before.
escrow, of
Yes,
course.
yes, yes,
It
yes,
gets real tricky when you don't.
yes.
So people come to
Yeah,
me all the time.
don't call Natalie and say, "Hey, we're in escrow. What do we do?" No,
Happens
no.
all the time where they're like,
Yes,
we
it does.
found the house of our dreams, but we own already. What are we
Yeah,
supposed to do? We
now what
don't
do we
have a
do?
down payment. And you're
We're
like,
already in escrow. It's like
oh man, that's so brutal. But the HELOC is the cheapest way, right? The bridge loan, couple
the
different
cheapest way.
bridge
It's just a
loans.
HELOC. You're paying the interest on the HELOC and the closing costs on the HELOC, which is minimal. Uh,
Exactly.
you can also do a cross lien. So that's also pretty popular
A
where
cross collateral. Tell us about that. Cross
so
collateral.
let's say you're live in a home that's worth $1 million. You're gonna sell it for $1 million, but you have a mortgage of let's say 400,000. So there's
Hmm.
$600,000 equity. And you want to buy, let's say you're downsizing, you want to buy a $700,000 house, right? So we'll give you all of 700,000. We'll give you 100% financing to buy the new house, and we just put a lien on both properties. So it's one mortgage, one set of closing costs, two liens. Then we release the lien when you sell this house, as long as you make the principal reduction down to 80% or below. You can make it more than that if you want, but
Right.
down to at least 80%. And that way you only have one closing, one set of closing costs. You don't have to have double closings.
And
No,
what's the
no bridge
fee on
loan.
that?
It's same as it's a
3%,
portfolio.
two and a
No,
half,
no, it's just the mortgage. The mortgage is just the mortgage.
just like a broker.
There's Yep, there's no added fee other than just the mortgage closing costs.
Interesting. Does it take longer?
Nope. Nope. They close pretty easily in 2 to 3 weeks. Pretty easy.
Okay. There's another one, but this is a more expensive one. It's a little bit similar to that, but maybe a little less complicated. So, and it's through one investor that will give you up to 70% total of the home. So if the home is worth a million, they'll give you up to total loans of 700,000, right? So if you have a $400,000 loan, they'll give you a $300,000 lien at 0%. And they will quote buy the house in their contract so that, like you said, Fannie and Freddie, you don't have to count any of the debt against the property before closing because they'll buy it cash. So basically,
Right?
there aren't contingencies, which I've had to use before. I've had to use that cash option of theirs in order to close on something once. And then they charge 2% on the departing residence when you sell. So
That's
they
the bridge. That's the bridge loan. It's similar to a bridge
It's
loan.
the bridge loans I've done are way harsher than
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
they do two loans. They like,
And that same company, when they sell the house, let's say they sell the house for 1,000,001, the departing owner gets the profit minus the fees. Is that the same program that you're talking about?
eh,
Because they
no,
paid
just
cash for
he
700.
just owes them 2% of that deal.
Oh, so it's
Basically,
an offer of cash. They don't actually close. They don't actually close.
oh yeah, no, they don't. It's just the offer
Okay.
of cash.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they don't close it.
Yeah, so that's a similar to a bridge loan from a fee, from a cost standpoint. And
2%.
it certainly might be easier, right? It might
Oh
be
my
easier.
gosh. Well, bridge loans, if anyone out there doesn't know, bridge loans actually, the ones that we were doing, it pains me to do them. They're so expensive.
I agree. It's very
Oh,
hard for me
it
to.
pains me to do
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Basically, let's say again, your house is worth a million, you have a $400,000 loan. A lot of bridge loans will only go up to 65% of the value. You have to ask for a special 70. I've gotten an exception once to 75 so that they could get enough to buy the new house. So they won't just give you a loan on the property. They don't give you a second. They refinance your first loan. So they would take your 400,000, let's say you need 300,000 to as your down payment. They'll give you one loan at 740 or something because the fees are like 30 grand. They're so expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Right away, I'm just like, there's got to
right
be a
away, it's
better way.
cringe. And
There's
that's why
got
when
to be a
people come
better
to me and they're
way.
like, I want a bridge loan, I'm like, let's talk about
Let's talk
everything
about other,
except a
yeah,
bridge loan. Let's talk about all the options
yeah,
except bridge loans because they
yeah,
are
yeah,
the
yeah,
worst.
yeah.
And then they tie themselves to the new purchase and they make themselves do the new purchase as well. And then they give you a bit of a higher rate on the new purchase because they're a non-QM company. And they charge, 1.25% on that. So it's
Right.
just It's very high cost. Bridge loans are not necessarily the way to go. And even though you think you need it, you don't actually, right? Because
Yeah,
there
it's just
are
good.
these other
I
options.
feel like our job, yours and my job, is to give clients choices, right? Not here's one choice, right? Here's multiple choices. Here's the
Yes.
pros and cons of each, and allow the consumer, as long as they have visibility and transparency into what all of it is, let them decide what's in. Because sometimes, because it pains me, I agree with you. 2% or 3%, it's 20, $30,000. I just go,
Wrong.
ooh. But that's my values, right? And I don't want to project my values onto someone else because it might be the best thing in the world to someone else. They
And
might be
it's
going,
sometimes
Eric,
it's the
that's a
only way.
deal. Let's go.
Sometimes it's the
Right.
only way.
That's correct.
The ones I've done is because there are literally no other options.
There's no other options, right? And
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's still, even when we close one, it still hurts. Oh God,
exactly.
I wish I could have come up with a different way. There wasn't one, but it's hard charging fees like that. It just doesn't feel good.
It is. And then we have another non-QM program, just for everybody out there, that is actually called Buy Before Sell. It's a Buy Before Sell program,
You know,
which is through non-QM, which for everybody out there means non-qualified mortgage, but it's basically a non-conforming type of loan.
it's Wall Street. It's just Wall Street
Yeah,
creating mortgage-backed securities. Yep.
exactly, exactly. So basically, if I just get a letter from you that you plan to list the property within
Yeah.
90 days after close,
Yep.
I don't have to count the debt
Yep.
at all. Just the letter, and I don't have to count the debt on the departing residence.
Yeah. And then again, you just do a HELOC for down
You
payment. And
can, or if you even have a little bit of money that we can do as a small down payment, if you can borrow the money,
yeah,
because obviously whoever you borrow it from, they're going to get it the moment you sell your house, you
right.
know. So though that's quote bridge, you know what I mean? If you can bridge the gap of the money and
It's
like
good that there's
hold it
options,
down.
right?
Yeah,
I love that there's options because, 6, 7 years ago, it was a bridge loan. That was it. Like
right,
there weren't
exactly.
options. So no, I love the fact that now there's a lot of options for people.
Totally, totally. Yes. Wonderful. So tell me about why the book, why the
Oh,
why
do I
of
have money?
money, the why of money. Yeah.
So I came from moment of trauma.
Okay.
It was 2004, and being in the mortgage industry in 2004, I was making more money than I'd ever dreamed of. Didn't know you could make that much money. And I had a mentor who had the perfect life, right? He had the perfect wife, perfect kids, perfect business, perfect. I just wanted to be this guy. And he was mentoring me, and I was doing everything I could to implement everything he was teaching me. And he was doing a site visit this given day in 2004. He flew in and was going to spend an entire day with me and my team and tell us all the things we're doing right, tell us all the things we can improve upon. And it was a good day, right? I felt good. He gave us really good feedback. And then we went for dinner and I was feeling good, right? I'm having dinner with my mentor. We just had a really good day. I'm flying high. And he looked at me and he said, Sarek, I'm just curious, like, why are you doing all this? What are you going to do with the money?
Sure.
And I looked at him and I couldn't understand the question. I'll never forget it.
Interesting.
I was looking at him going, because it's money? What?
Right. Right.
I don't
I
understand the
also don't
question. What
get
do you
it.
mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
And for the first time, I could see the look in his eye changed to disappointment that I couldn't answer the question. He said, well, money's a tool, Eric, right? It's what are you going to do with it? And I was like, brother, I literally don't know how to answer your question. I'm so sorry.
Interesting. You mean
I,
like how are you going to earn more on it? Is that what he kind of meant?
what's the purpose?
Okay.
What's your purpose?
Right.
And I was
Stronger
like,
than that.
and I was
Okay.
like, I got nothing for you, man. That's not okay, right? For me to not have an answer to that question made me
Yeah.
feel like I failed.
Yeah.
And so I've now failed my mentor, right, for the first time. And so this trauma came over me. It was like, oh my God, this is not good. And
Okay.
so it shot me on this journey of, okay, I don't have an answer, but somebody's got to have an answer, right? It's got to exist. So let me search out people that have made millions of dollars and ask them the question, like, why do you make all this money? And let me see if somebody's got an answer that resonates with me, where I can go, ooh, that's a good answer. I like that answer. That's going to be my answer, right? That's what I was looking for.
Right.
But I have a very linear brain, right? Step one, step two, step three, very zeros and ones. And I noticed when I'm talking to all these self-made millionaires, and it was loan officers and realtors and financial planners and CPA. I don't care. As long as you sell for a living and make more than $1 million a year and you're self-made, that's all I care. And then why are you making all this money? Because you don't need $5 million a year. We want $5 million a year. We're happy to have $5 million. We don't need it,
Sure.
right? Which means you're overworking what you need. You get what you need and then you keep going. Why? Why do you keep going?
Right. Why?
It's,
Yes, I actually ask some of my lender friends that as well. Like, why are you not actually satisfied?
so what?
When are you satisfied? When is it
No,
enough? Like,
no,
when is it,
there's no enough. It does. And so they can enjoy
that's how
moments.
some of them think. Yeah, it's never enough. They're never happy or satisfied with what
Well,
they're doing.
you can enjoy a sunset. You can sit and
Yeah.
enjoy a sunset, and I can enjoy my sunset, right? And then tomorrow when the sun rises, I'm back at it.
Right.
Like I enjoyed the moment, but it doesn't take away the hunger. So what's the why behind the hunger? And so when I kept asking these questions over and over again, I noticed that there were only five answers. Every single self-made millionaire came back with an answer that was some variation of these five categories. And so I wrote down the five categories and then I kept testing it, kept testing it. And then I ended up writing a book treatment, like a two-page executive summary. Here's my observation. This is crazy. I sent it off to some
Mhm.
friends. What do you think? And one of my friends knew a book publisher. He forwarded the book publisher. They called me and said, "Can you prove the theory?" And so I did this exercise, and they're like, "We'll send you a book contract." So they sent me a book contract. And I read. So the why of money, the first chapter is the five whys. Here's the five whys. And then the rest of the book is here's how. Right. But if you don't resonate with chapter one, the rest of the book's not going to land on you. And I would say if chapter one of my book doesn't resonate with you, get out of sales. You won't make it. You're in it for the wrong reasons. You won't get through it. Because as you know, when you sell for a living, you have to go through rejection. You're going to get rejected daily,
Daily.
right? And, whether
Yeah.
it be a realtor, a client, whatever, something happens where you get rejected. And so you have to take that rejection, discard it, and keep going. Right. And so how many of those rejections can you discard? And hopefully
And you handle.
we learn from them, right? Oh, I got a rejection. Here's why I got that rejection. I'm going to try and be better at that so I don't repeat that mistake, right? We try and improve upon. But it's brutal. It is brutal on the psyche. It's brutal on our daily activities. You go home and you're exhausted to your family from the rejection, sometimes, some days. And so what keeps you going? And there's only five reasons. If one of those five lands on you, great. If none of the five land on you, get out of sales. So there's a free video on my website. It's a
Interesting.
15-minute
Okay.
video about it.
Yeah.
And I say to people, watch the free 15-minute video. If that video resonates with you, like one of those five, you don't need a five, you just need one. If one of those five reasons lands on you, then buy the book.
Yeah.
And if not, get out of sales. Don't Don't sell for a living. You just won't make it. And we've met them, right?
Of
You've sat
course.
beside them at a conference, you've sat beside them at a meeting where you're just looking at them going, there's
They've
no
been on my
way.
team. They've been
Yeah,
on my, I've had
that-
juniors.
that's
I've
right.
had juniors that
You're
like,
never gonna make it.
yeah,
You're just not hungry enough. You won't survive this.
not even hungry enough, necessarily. It's just not the frame of mind. It's not the ability to handle rejection or to handle the stress of this job. It's a stressful
Right.
job, right? You can't handle
It
somebody
is.
calling and yelling at you or the stress of missing something in an escrow and now you've got this issue and you have to
Right.
call and handle that issue and put that fire out and it's a lot of responsibility, so a lot of people don't quite have that temperament
Do
to
you know what I call those stories? I call them bad beat stories. Do you play poker at all?
no.
Not really.
I mean, I know
So,
how, but no.
yeah, bad beat in poker is when you're all in with your chips and you have a 99% chance of winning. The other player, there's only one card that they can pull that's going to beat you. All the other cards you win, and they pull that one card, and you're just like, oh. So that's a bad beat in poker. So in mortgage, I call it what's your bad beat story? That story that puts you in the fetal position for a week. And every loan officer that's been doing this for any length of time, oh God, let me tell you what
100%.
happened.
I already have it.
Yeah,
I
I
already
know.
have it.
We all have our stories where
Just
you're
kidding.
like,
I didn't sleep for days. Yeah.
I was in the fetal position for a week, sucking my thumb. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to
It
survive this?
happens. We're all human, man.
Yeah,
It happens, but you have to be able to
get back up.
not let it affect you.
Yeah.
Honestly, you have to. And at some point, you go straight into putting out the fire mode. You stop worrying so much about how the fire happens. You just go straight into put it out.
Do you find it hard to explain it to your loved ones? Because our loved ones don't understand it, right? If we're coming home after a day like that, like you had a bad beat today, and your brain is just completely frazzled, like your family just can't grasp what that was or what that is or how you're responding to it. And so you have to put this mask on to hide whatever that is for the most part.
I guess for the most part, yeah. I do that pretty well. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll say it took everything out of me today. I have nothing left.
Yeah.
Like
My gas tank is empty.
I give it, I gave everything I have to other people today. So I'm just done. And then, but we don't talk about it. I don't talk about work at home at all.
Oh, good for you. Wow.
Yeah.
Blessings.
It's too exhausting. It actually brings up the feeling I don't want to. I actually have to leave it at that front door. I can't.
Nice. Good for you.
It'll exhaust me more. So you have to know how and when to decide to.
It's funny when loan officers talk to each other about like all of those coping mechanisms that other people outside of lending, they just they don't see it, don't know what you do loans. What's the big deal? It's like, wow, what's the big deal? Yeah,
it's true.
Man, just sit at our desk for a day. Just sit next to us for a day and you will see the bedlam and the chaos.
It's true. And that's what junior LOs of mine who wanted to be loan officers and wanted to, when you said you could tell, depending on how they react to the first chapter that they're not going to do it. I've had a few juniors that will get 1 or 2 loans. If God forbid they have 2 loans a month, they'll be like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm so stressed all the time.
You're stressed with 2.
I can't handle it. And they really, I know. And you're like, oh, it gets better, but if it's killing you now, then
if 2's
I'm not sure this is for you. I'm just on, I know it doesn't seem terrible, but it's,
can I give you the math on that? You can steal this if you want. So there's 8 hours in a workday. There's 5 work days in a week. There's 21 work days in a month.
Yeah.
So you have 168 work hours in a month.
Yep.
And you close 2 loans. You worked 168 hours and you were stressed out closing 2 loans.
Well, they didn't. Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
And so what'd you do for 168 hours and whatever that was, you should stop doing that.
Yeah. I tell people too that have, new loan officers, new realtors and stuff like that. You only get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah. Truth.
Money is not free.
Truth.
And you only get out of it what you put into it. You put 2 hours a day into it, that's what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
You put 5 hours a day into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. So it's the energy, it's the manifestation of energy. It's how driven you are to work towards it, to get it. That's what you get in return. Sometimes it's a lot of difficulty that you get back in return, but it feeds itself. You know what I mean? It
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Anyway, Eric, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much for being on and sharing, so much insight with us today. I really appreciate it. And I've really appreciated the conversation.
Thanks for having me.
Truly. Yeah, you're so welcome. Everybody, Eric's information is below. You might want to check out that book. Sounds pretty interesting. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.